The Sealed Book of Mormon, chapter 41. And now, my beloved brothers and sisters, even all of you of the latter days, and those of you who have passed through the days of your probation, and reside in the spirit world, and wait patiently on the Lord, that he might bring about the resurrection of your souls, and also those of you who remain in the spirit world in a state of torment, because you now know that which he did not consider while ye existed in mortality, even as he went through the days of your probation, and did not partake of the goodness of God, which he hath given us through his Son, Jesus Christ. I say unto all the children of God, no matter where they might reside, how do ye think that ye shall come to know the Father, except ye shall first know his Son, who is in the exact likeness of the Father, and who hath been given to us as an example to follow in all things? And now, how can ye expect to know yourselves, except ye first know him who hath created you? Now this thing ye know of a surety, even that ye do exist. And if ye think not that ye exist, then I say unto you, find the highest point of earth on which ye can tread, and go unto this point, and cast yourselves off this terrestrial apex. And as ye fall to the earth, to your death, know ye not that ye are alive? For if ye are not alive, then why should ye fear death? And what would be the cause of your fear, if it so be that ye do not exist? And while ye are falling, and know that ye shall die, to whom shall ye call on to save you? I say unto you, that ye shall call upon someone, even if it so be that you call upon yourselves. And if ye call upon yourselves, then ye have a witness that ye do exist. And ye cannot exist and have a knowledge of this existence, except ye have a knowledge of the Father who hath created you. And because ye cannot see the Father, ye do not know that he existeth. For if you could see him, then you would know for a surety that he doth exist, and that he hath created you. And if he hath created you, and ye do indeed exist, then there must be some reason for which the Father hath created you. And if there is a reason that he hath created you, then the reason must be his reason, and not your own, because ye did not exist to have a reason to create yourselves. And if the Father had a reason or a purpose for which he created you, then would it not be appropriate that the Father teach unto you the reason for your creation, or rather the reason for which he caused you to be created? And now I say unto you, that the Father hath given unto us the reason why we have been created. And do you think that he caused us to be created, that we might be miserable and unhappy forever? For what purpose do you think that God would have in using his omnipotence to create something that would be miserable and unhappy forever? Yea, what kind of God can ye imagine in your hearts would do such a thing? I say unto you, that God created us that we might have joy, yea, even eternal happiness. And now, do ye think that if he had created us so that we might have this joy, that he would not provide for us the means and the way whereby we might have this eternal joy and happiness? Do ye think that he would create us and then leave us to ourselves to create our own happiness and provide for our own means whereby we might obtain this happiness? And how is it that ye can think that we would have an idea of where we could find this happiness, or those things that we must do to provide for ourselves the means of this happiness? For behold, we have no experience in this thing, and we have no experience in this thing because we did not exist until we were created. And from the moment that we are created, we begin to have experiences and thus begin our ability to become an individual and think and act for ourselves, independent of the control of others, even independent of the control of Him who had created us. For if the Father had not given unto us our independence from His own experience, distinguishing the one from the other, then we would not know this happiness or joy for ourselves, being created for His experience and not for our own. And He already knoweth this joy and happiness, and He knoweth this from His own experience. And because He had the experience to know these things, He knoweth that He is eternally happy in His own existence. And because He knoweth and understandeth this eternal happiness, it is His desire to give this happiness unto us, who are His children, or His creations who have been created by Him, that we might have the experiences that He hath had, that have brought Him His happiness. And this happiness can only come through independence and free agency, or in other words, having the ability to be independent of the Father and gain from our own experiences our own happiness. And now, once we have had these experiences and have felt this joy, even this state of eternal happiness, to whom do you think that we shall give praises and thanksgiving for this happiness that we enjoy? Do ye think that we shall thank ourselves for giving us this happiness? Do you think that we shall thank others for this happiness, even those who did not create us and had nothing to do with making us independent, so that we could experience and gain this happiness? I say unto you that ye shall one day give praise and glory only to the Father and our eternal mothers, for the experiences and the joy and happiness that ye shall have forever in the kingdoms of the Father, which kingdoms He hath created for us to provide the means for us to experience this happiness. And now I would that ye should consider this thing. If ye are of a family, and ye have brothers and sisters, and if ye all have a father and a mother, who have given unto all of you, who are their children, yea, even those who were born of them without a choice of their own, but by the choice of them who are the parents, yea, and your parents have given equally unto you great and glorious blessings, even all of their riches, and all of their possessions, and all of their lands, and their fine things, even everything that bringeth them happiness. If the children of this family have been given all these things of their parents, then who shall receive the thanks and glory for these things? Shall the brother or the sister say unto another, I thank thee, dear brother, for all that which thou hast given unto me? And will that brother say unto the others, Ye are welcome for that which I have given unto you, and I deserve and am worthy of your praise and your glory? And if it so be that the father and the mother of this family shall be gone into another country, and shall leave all of their possessions and their lands and their fine things, even all things which they possess that make them happy, and give unto the oldest son the power and authority to give unto their children equally all that they possess and have worked for all their lives for the sake of their children, and if this oldest son hath this authority and this power, shall he then be worthy of the praise and the glory of the other children, when they receive all these things through him? Even those things that their parents commanded should be divided equally unto all of their children. I say unto you that a wicked son would take the glory for himself, and think not to turn the hearts of the children to the parents, who have provided these things freely unto them all. Yea, a wicked son would not divide the possessions of the parents equally, but would give of the finest parts to himself, and to those whom he loveth, or to those who look up to him, and give him glory that he thinketh that he deserveth, because of the power and authority that hath been given him by the parents. But I say unto you, that a righteous son would show unto the rest of his brothers and his sisters that he hath been chosen only to give unto them what their parents have commanded of him, and he shall give equally unto all the portion that they deserve, all being equally loved by their parents. And what glory and praise shall this righteous son desire, knowing that he did not provide his brothers and sisters with their inheritance, but that it came from their parents, and he was only chosen because of his righteousness in administering the will of his parents according to their desires. And now, if the father and the mother wanted to make sure that all of their children would receive an equal part of the inheritance that they have left for their children, then which son would they choose to administer their will? And when they return home to their children, who then shall the children worship and honour? Would they honour their brother, or would they not honour their father and their mother, who have provided for them equally in all things? And if their children still praise this righteous son, would this son want this of himself, or would he not direct the glory of his siblings to their parents, who deserve this glory? And what then shall be the reason for the glory and praise of the unrighteous son, who being the oldest among them, sought for praise and honour for himself? Then shall the other siblings see him for who he really is, a devil, a charlatan, whose only desire was to take glory upon himself for that which he had nothing to do with in the first place. And then shall the father cast out this unrighteous son, and all those who were desirous to take more of the inheritance than their other brothers and sisters. But if the righteous son hath done all things that the father hath commanded of him, then the father shall thank that son, and give unto him his equal portion with the rest of his brothers and sisters. And all of the children shall worship the father and mother, and give glory and praise unto them forever, thanking them for their inheritance, and also thanking them for leaving the power and authority of dividing this inheritance in the hands of the righteous son. And now, my brothers and sisters, I am about to take away from you a great stumbling block that hath been placed before you because of your wickedness. And this wickedness of which I speak is that ye have given credit and praise and glory, where this credit and praise and glory is not due, neither is it expected of him to whom ye give it. And because ye have done these things, ye have had these stumbling blocks placed before you. And this wickedness of which I speak is like unto the parable that I have given unto you, even like unto those children who gave honour and praise to the unrighteous son, who wanted this praise and glory for himself, knowing fully that he had nothing to do with the inheritance that the parents had left for all of their children equally. For behold, ye seek for that which shall make you unequal with your other brothers and sisters, and ye seek for someone that ye might worship and honour, and who hath given unto you what ye believe is the greater part of the inheritance of the Father. And I speak specifically unto you of the latter days, who shall have these things revealed unto you. For there are many of you, yea, even all of you, except it be for the very few elect who have chosen for yourselves this oldest son, whom I have given as an example in the parable. For there are many of you who have placed Jesus and others above you, and have given unto them the glory that ye should be giving unto the Father in all things. And because ye have done this, Christ hath become a stumbling block unto you, even that ye do stumble and err in your understanding of truth. And the true Christ that ye have accepted, and that ye think ye know not. For he is not the true Christ of which I have spoken, and of which all the holy prophets have written and spoken since the beginning. For ye worship the unrighteous Son, and call him your Christ and your Lord, and give glory unto him, glory and praise, which is the thing that the righteous Son would not accept of you. And now it is this thing that I have seen commanded to reveal unto you by the true Lord, even Jesus Christ himself, the righteous Son of God, which he commanded me when he visited with me and conversed with me, and taught me many things concerning him and his life, which things he hath commanded me to include in this record. Yea, Jesus Christ hath commanded me to make this thing plain unto you, that ye might have no more excuses in your wickedness, and that ye might come to know the true Christ. For if ye come to know the true Christ, then ye shall come to know the true Father, which is the Father of Christ, as well as our own Father, and who is the Creator of all things. Behold, he hath created us, and hath given unto us all of his blessings equally, and he gave the power and authority to his Son, even Jehovah, or Jesus Christ, as he shall be known among the Jews and the Gentiles, to represent him and do his will in this part of his kingdom. And his will is that all of his children return unto him, and partake of the eternal happiness of his kingdom. And this happiness he hath given unto all of his children equally, according to their desires of happiness. And he doth not say to one, Thy happiness shall be less than that of thy brother, nor doth he say to another, Thy happiness is greater than that of thy brother. But he saith unto all, Thy happiness is a fullness of all I can give unto thee, according to thy own desires and choices of happiness. And this is the eternal plan of the Father, and it is also the desire of our eternal mothers, who work for our happiness with our Father. And now it is the Son of whom I must speak, and give unto you an understanding. For ye give praise and glory unto the Son, which he doth not deserve, neither doth he want the praise and the glory that you give unto him. And it saddeneth his heart when you give unto him this praise and this glory, even that praise and glory that he desireth that the Father receive from you. And he knoweth that in your wickedness, or in your darkness, ye cannot give unto the Father the praise he deserveth, because ye do not see the Father, but ye have seen him, and know that he hath lived among you. And for this reason ye worship him, and give unto him glory, contrary to that which he hath commanded you. And in all things he hath attempted to turn your hearts towards the Father, that ye might be taught by the Father, as he was taught by the Father, having received a fullness of the Father, which fullness is offered unto all of the children of God equally. And in sorrow he suffereth you to worship him, and use his name in vain, giving unto him the glory that he would force you to give unto the Father if he could, but he cannot force you to do that which ye do not desire, according to the free agency that ye have received from the Father. And the Father hath also commanded him to not force you, but that he should love you, and allow you to worship the Father in his name, that ye might know the Father through the Son, because of your wickedness. For what righteous father among you would truly want any of his children to come unto him by way of a brother? I say unto you, that if ye are a righteous father, then ye would want to speak to all of your children, and love them each as ye do the others. But if your children fear you, because they do not know you, and they choose to come unto you only through their brother, then they shall not be in your presence and know you, but they shall only know the brother, that they have chosen to come unto you on their behalf. But ye shall still love your children, and want them to be happy. Therefore you shall allow them to speak with you through their brother. But ye would be saddened that your children would not come unto you personally, and sit upon your knee, and embrace you, and speak to you, like you speak with their brother, whom they have chosen, and to whom they speak instead of you. And would it not frustrate this brother, if he were a righteous son, and he knew that all of his brothers and sisters could approach their father and sit upon his knee and converse with their father, yet they will not do this because they fear him? Would not this brother make every attempt that he could to get his siblings to know their father and come unto him? And now I will give unto you examples of this thing, both in the record of the Jews, and also in the record of my Father, which hath already come forth among you. And these examples have been hidden from you, because of your wickedness and the stumbling blocks that the Lord hath placed before you. But I will explain these things unto you in plainness, and ye shall see your errors, and take notice of your ignorance of those things that ye should have understood. But without the Spirit to guide you in your understanding, there is no way that ye could have understood these things. Behold, the written word hath caused much contention among you, because of the way that these words have been written and given unto you. But if ye would not have the spirit of contention among you, then ye would have understood these things. And because ye had this contention, which is contrary to the Spirit of Christ, then ye did not have the Spirit of Christ, and therefore could not understand these things when they were presented unto you already in plainness. And now I would that ye should make reference to the words of my father Mormon, which he hath given unto you concerning the coming of Jesus Christ unto the people who were gathered in the land of Bountiful, after he was resurrected. And now I would that ye should know that the Father hath suffered that the children of men be given the opportunity to hear his words by those whom they will accept as his mouthpiece. And I have already shown unto you that if the children of men are willing, then they can receive the words of God directly from his mouth, even from the Holy Ghost, who is one with the Father in all things, and is the voice of the Father, and is the way that the Father hath established to teach unto the children of men his will in all things. And this way he hath established, so that his children will not give undeserved praise and glory to their own brothers and sisters, who did not create them, nor did they have anything to do with their eternal salvation, except it be giving his words unto them, that they might turn to him and keep his commandments, which were given so that they might have joy and happiness. And because the children of men do not recognize the way which the Father hath established to teach them, even that they cannot hear and understand his voice. He hath suffered that they be taught the only way that they might understand and accept his words. And he hath suffered that the children of men should worship others of their brothers, even the holy prophets who have been sent unto them, that they might at least have some contact with him and receive his word in some way. Now, this communication with the Father, even the desire of the Son to turn the people to their Father, was given as an example in the record of my Father. And he wrote, saying, And now it came to pass that there was a great multitude gathered together of the people of Nephi round about the temple which was in the land Bountiful. And they were marvelling and wondering one with another, and were showing one to another the great and marvellous change which had taken place. And they were also conversing about this Jesus Christ, of whom the sign had been given concerning his death. And it came to pass that while they were thus conversing one with another, they heard a voice, as if it came out of heaven. And they cast their eyes round about, for they understood not the voice which they heard. And it was not a harsh voice, neither was it a loud voice. Nevertheless, and notwithstanding it being a small voice, it did pierce them that they did hear to the centre, insomuch that there was no part of their frame that it did not cause to quake. Yea, it did pierce them to the very soul, and did cause their hearts to burn. And it came to pass that again they heard the voice, and they understood it not. And again the third time they did hear the voice, and did open their hearts to hear it. And their eyes were towards the sound thereof, and they did look steadfastly towards heaven, from whence the sound came. And behold, the third time they did understand the voice which they heard, and it said unto them, Behold, my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, in whom I have glorified my name. Hear ye him. And now I, Moroni, give unto you an explanation of these things. For behold, whose voice did the people hear that testified unto them of his Son? Was it not the voice of the Father? And why is it that they did not understand this voice when it was given unto them the first time? And even a second time it was given unto them, and they did not understand it. And this voice was given unto them by their loving Father in heaven, who loveth them all, and desireth to give unto all of his children his words by his own mouth. And the voice of the Father is not a harsh voice, like the voice of a prophet at times, neither is it a loud voice, with which a prophet at times doth proclaim his message and teacheth repentance. But it was a small voice, that did pierce them that did hear to the centre, insomuch that there was no part of their frame that it did not cause to quake. Yea, it did pierce them to the very soul, and did cause their hearts to burn. And this burning was caused because the voice was recognizable by the spirit of these people. But the flesh could not understand these things, because it was not heard in their ears, as they were accustomed to receiving communication. Now behold, these people understood the voice of Jesus, of whom they had been given the signs and the testimonies of the prophets, to whom they had listened with the means of communication, of which they were accustomed in the flesh. And they did previously to this time, yea, even just before the Father made an attempt to speak unto them with his own voice, they did hear the voice of Christ in the darkness. Now, why is it that these people could hear the voice of Christ in the darkness when he spoke unto them from the heavens, but they could not perceive and understand the voice of the Father when he spoke unto them from the same heavens in the light? And what is it that the Father was trying to tell the people, even through the manner of communication that they could not understand, yea, even through this still small voice? Behold, these things were shown unto the people that were preserved in the land of Bountiful, as a similitude of those things which are upon the earth. For the Father made twice the attempt to speak unto his children, but they could not understand the words which he gave unto them, and they did not know him. Therefore they did not recognize his voice. Nevertheless, he knew that they were conversing about his Son, even Jesus Christ, who Samuel the Lamanite had prophesied would come into the world. And they were conversing about Jesus Christ just before they heard the voice of the Father speak unto them from the heavens. And the Father knew that these people were not ready to hear from his own mouth that which he would gladly teach unto them, for he knew that they could not listen to that still small voice that spoke directly to their spirit, he being the creator of their spirits, and not to their ears, which were of the flesh. And when he had made the attempt twice, he turned them over to the Son, that he might teach them through his Son. And he spoke unto them this time in the manner of communication that they could understand in their wickedness. And for this reason it is written, And behold, the third time they did understand the voice which they heard, and it said unto them, Behold, my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, in whom I have glorified my name. Hear ye him. And with this the Father gave the children of men the opportunity to hear his words, the only way that they could understand them, even the way that they had been taught by their customs and their traditions. Nevertheless, it was better that they hear his words in this way than that they should not hear any of his words.